Hello, and welcome to my final project for COM 616, Communicating Mindfully at Queen's University of Charlotte. I'm Denise Whitehead, and today I'll be reviewing my inquiry project findings and implications for my paper, Embracing the Cooperative Story, Using Community of Memory to Engage New Customers. Before I get too far into my paper, it might help to provide a little background on why cooperatives can be such an interesting topic of study. I currently work as a communications manager for a small electric cooperative in Florida. We share a history with electric cooperatives across America. During the 1930s and 1940s, while large investor-owned utilities were providing service to densely populated urban areas, our farms and rural communities were still left in the dark. It just wasn't cost effective for the large companies to provide service to the out-of-the-way areas. So farmers in small towns became resourceful. They took advantage of loans from the government and established their own power companies, organized as member-owned, not-for-profit cooperatives. There was a great deal of pride in these cooperatives as neighbors banded together, oftentimes working themselves to set power poles and run lines to the family farms. Turning the lights on for the first time was an extraordinary accomplishment that helped establish a community of memory that served the cooperatives well for many years. As time went by, however, those stories of turning the lights on for the first time started to fade and take on less importance. Power has become an expectation or right, not a luxury. The story of electric cooperatives, although a proud one, has become a little bit stale and out of reach of the younger customers who can't see beyond the amount of their bill. Community of memory at electric cooperatives risk becoming simply a dead tradition if communicators don't respond to the changing circumstances of their communities and customers, as stated by Arnett, Fritz, and Bell. My paper highlights why community of memory can play such a large part in the communications programs of electric cooperatives, and why it is so important to address change and respond to younger customers' concerns. I looked to the example of Harrison Rural Electrification Association, as told by Keith Crabtree in the book Co-op Survivor. In this example, HREA faced actual revolt by customers who not only lost confidence in their elected board members, but also felt their cooperative was mishandling finances and not communicating to its customers with any sense of transparency. Employees of the cooperative felt that they were supporting their community who didn't understand the difficulties involved in serving the community, but their message didn't come across that way. Unfortunately, HREA did not have a strong communications program, so the community of memory that was once a proud story slowly degraded and proved no use in reaching the customers in any positive or ethical manner. This is a clear example of how community of memory can end in devastating results. However, if a communicator addresses community of memory properly, it can be extremely beneficial. In my paper, I discuss several ways that electric cooperatives can take their original story, that proud history of being a building block of the rural communities, and enhance upon it. Cooperatives have to understand the struggle their younger customers face financially. Their hopes to have a safe and prosperous community for their families to grow up in, and an active voice in the organizations they are members of. Most importantly, they must feel they can trust their cooperatives to handle finances appropriately and want proof of how money is handled, how their monthly payments are utilized, and how the company is continuing to develop a strong base. As Arnett, Fritz, and Bell state, a community of memory is not a place of static collection of old stories. It is the central location of active engagement for an organization. Robert Ballah and his co-authors in Habits of the Heart expand on that idea by stating, "The communities of memory that tie us to the past also turn us toward the future." For cooperative communicators, there is an ethical challenge to maintain the proud history that is the cornerstone of what cooperatives were built on, but to also incorporate current marketing techniques and elements that engage younger customers by highlighting low rates, faster service, updated technologies, sound business practices, and transparency. Communicators must recruit employees to change their language and story, utilize social media, and highlight community involvement while still utilizing traditional communication channels like mass media and advertising. Dialogic ethics will be a key tool for communicators in the cooperative world by engaging their customers in two-way communications to truly understand the issues that are important to younger customers and incorporated them into the new enhanced community of memory. The implications for cooperatives in the future could follow HRE's example if there is no acknowledgement and continued development of community of memory as a major part of our engagement techniques moving forward. There are valid concerns that the history of the cooperative can be lost and the business model be transitioned to a corporate model which does not necessarily represent the customer's interests, as well as a cooperative business model does. Without renewed engagement in the cooperative's community of memory from just the historical story to one that represents the good, highlights community involvement, encourages transparency while incorporating that history, customers will potentially lose trust in the cooperative and feel the organization is only interested in profit. Communicators in the business world need to stay vigilant and continue to understand the changing focus and needs of their customers. This certainly holds true for cooperative communicators who must meet those changes head-on while still highlighting the importance of the cooperative's history. By looking to case studies like HREA and other businesses with rich histories that continue to connect with modern customers, cooperatives can continue to thrive, engage their members, and be that cornerstone of the rural communities they serve.